Alrighty, we've got a few people joined already. I'm going to give it another minute or so before we get started.
Okay.
All right, my clock is saying noon, and I would like to go ahead and get started. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Megan Connor, and I'm the Deputy Director of Bar Programs and Engagement here at the Virginia State Bar. And I'd like to welcome you today to today's Lunch and Learn program, your how-to guide for VSB Annual Dues Renewal. The VSB's new virtual Lunch and Learn series offers monthly CLEs and informational webinars just like this one, featuring topics of interest to members of the bar. We hope you'll continue to tune in from your office to learn more about the programs and initiatives of the State Bar, and please keep an eye out for additional information about these programs in the VSB's monthly news that is delivered to your email address of record at the beginning of each month. So just a couple housekeeping items before we get started. Just a note, this program is not eligible for MCLE credit. We do encourage all attendees to take full advantage of the questions feature here in GoToWebinar to pose any questions you may have to today's presenter. So now I'd like to go ahead and introduce DaVida Davis. DaVida joined the Virginia State Bar in 2017 as clerk of the disciplinary system. In 2022, she transitioned to her current role as Director of Regulatory Compliance, where she oversees both membership and mandatory continuing legal education. Before joining the VSB, DaVida dedicated over 2 decades to public service in the Norfolk Circuit Court Clerk's Office, where she served as supervising deputy. DaVida is a graduate of Virginia Commonwealth University. Outside work, she enjoys spending time with family and friends, is an avid Peloton enthusiast. So with that, I will turn the mic over to DaVida.
Thank you, Megan. And I'm just glad that everyone wanted to join today to find out a little bit about this whole dues renewal process. And we want to make this renewal process as smooth and easy for everyone as possible. This is the second year that the VSB is conducting dues renewal totally online. And I know a lot of people have, contacted us and say, why are you doing this? This is not something that they want to do. I can tell you that the last time that we actually mailed out invoices, we spent over $45,000 in printing, handling, and postage costs. So this transitioning to a fully online renewal has afforded us a significant savings in that area. Additionally, if you can imagine mailing out 40,000 letters, that 40,000 letters come back. So we also would have to, during this, what we call due season, hire additional staff to assist with the data entry and processing the checks. So us being totally online is also saving in that area. So we don't have the postage and we don't have the need to hire additional staff, and it just makes us a lot more efficient. And one of the efficiencies that I'm seeing is that it is affording the staff more time to actually spend time on the phone with our members. When a member calls who maybe this is their first time logging in, staff members can spend 15 minutes on the phone walking people through the process, making sure that they're comfortable and providing that quality customer service that the VSB wants to provide to our members. So those are some of the things that I think are real advantages to us transitioning to a fully online dues renewal process. The dues portal opens on June 16th. The deadline for payment is July 31st at midnight EST. And I want to stress that it is Eastern Standard Time. We have members who are all over the country. We have members who are all over the world. And oftentimes it comes up as an issue for members because they're looking at the midnight in their time zone. The deadline is midnight Eastern Standard Time, July 31st. And on July 31st, we have staff manning the emails, watching the transactions that are taking place all the way up until midnight. Someone is available on July 31st until midnight. So if for some reason something happens, you can email the membership@vsb.org email address, and someone is staffing and manning that until midnight EST. And like I said, it's midnight EST. I can't stress that enough. And we also wanted you to know that failure to complete all of your requirements by that time does result in the imposition of additional fees, which is something that we just don't want our members to have to incur. So we encourage everyone to complete the renewal process by July 31st at midnight. And I know that some people, because July 31st is the deadline, depending on your bookkeeping and other things, you don't want to pay until July 31st. That's fine, but what I would recommend is that sometime before that, you log in, make sure that your password works, make sure that you're comfortable getting in, because I would hate for you to log in at 11:55 and be locked out. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind. If you are planning on waiting until July 31st, which is fine, but just make sure that you have access to the system and that you're comfortable and familiar with it. Another thing that I wanted to tell you about is group billing. Group billing is something that we instituted last year. And what group billing does is it allows organizations to designate a group billing administrator within their organization. And this could be an attorney, this could be a paralegal, whomever it is that you want to designate. That person is designated as the group billing administrator. That individual is given credentials that allows them to log into the VSB's website and create what we call a roster. This roster is a list of all of the members in your firm or your organization that the group billing administrator will then be able to make one payment for everyone. And it's really convenient. Last year, we had 105 organizations sign up for group billing. There were over 3,000 attorneys who were on these group billing rosters. We had some government agencies that had 300 attorneys. We had some law firms that had several hundred. And then we had some smaller firms with 8, 9, 10 employees. But it made it a really consolidated way for the firm to make the payment online. And so far, we have about 158 organizations that are now registered. We started registering back in April, and the deadline for group billing is tomorrow. So if you're interested in having your firm enrolled in group billing, tomorrow, May 30th, in case someone's watching this later, May 30th is the deadline, and you can email us at regulatorycompliance@vsb.org, and we will get whomever it is in your organization that you would like to have set up as your group billing administrator. We'll get them their credentials and assist them with creating their roster so that between June 16th and July 31st, they are able to log in and make one payment for everyone in your organization. So we're really excited about that opportunity. So we'll move into the whole dues payment process. Where does it start? You would first navigate to the VSB website, www.vsb.org, and you would sign into your member portal. The member portal allows you not only to complete your annual renewal, but to update your contact information, to view your CLE records, to report CLE. You can also submit your ethics questions in your member portal and access FastCase. So you would sign in with your username. The username is an email address, and I know in the old system, I believe the username was your bar number. Your username is an email address, and it can be your email address of record, or you could use a different email address. It doesn't have to be your email address of record. If you're trying to log in and you can't remember your password, there is a forgot password link that you can use, and it'll send you an email to help you get logged in. If for some reason you can't figure it out, email us, membership@vsb.org. Send us an email, we'll get you in. All right? So are we ready to start? Okay, great. So when you get to the VSB website, this is what you will see, and you will log into your member portal, and then at the top of the screen, you'll see hi and your name. You click there, and it will take you here to your member portal, your sign-in page. And you see right now on the dues portal, we have the announcement that the dues portal will open on June 16th and the deadline for payment is July 31st. I mentioned group billing earlier. How will I know if my organization has signed up for group billing? Well, once you get to this page, if your organization is enrolled in group billing and you are on that organization's roster, on this page right above the Renew Now button, you'll see you are enrolled in group billing for law firm ABC. It will say the name of the organization and it will let you know that you are enrolled in group billing. So that is the first sign for you that you need to complete all of your regulatory requirements, but you will not be making a payment. They will be making a payment on your behalf. So here, Renew Now, the yellow Renew Now button, you click that. And that takes you to the very first page. Here you can decide, do you want to maintain your current status or are you interested in changing your status? These are the choices that you have here. The page shows you what your current class of membership is, and this is where you would to make the determination of whether you want to change your status. Virginia Corporate Council and Corporate Council registrants are not allowed to change their membership class. If you are a Virginia Corporate Council or a Corporate Council registrant member, you would need to reach out to our office if there are some changes that need to be made. If you're happy with your current membership class, you'll just click I do not wish to make changes and you'll go on to the next page. If you would like to make a change, there's a drop down there and you'd click on that drop down. And there are options that you would have. An active member who wants to change to associate status would select that. And once you've selected changing to associate status, you will continue through the renewal process. And at the end of the renewal process, you would be assessed the membership fee for an associate member and your class will be changed immediately. For an associate member who maybe wants to change to active status, if you select that, we receive a notification in our office because there are certain requirements that have to be met. There's some CLE requirements, so we would receive that request and someone from our office would reach out to you to let you know, yes, you qualify or you don't, and what you need to do in order to qualify. If a member wants to change to a retired class of membership, the rules state that a member must be 70 years of age or turning 70 within the fiscal year. If you are in that category, you can select retired and then it ends for you right there. Now, sometimes we have some members who maybe aren't 70 yet and they will select it. And what will happen is it will show up in our office and we will review it. And if you're not eligible, we'll send you an email saying, no, I'm sorry, you're not eligible at this time. And you'll need to log back in and complete the membership requirements and to pay your dues. A member who is a judicial class, if you are a judicial member, you can select judicial and you'll go to a page where you can actually upload your letter or your order of appointment. If you want to change to disabled class of membership, you're able to upload the statement from your physician. And for emeritus members, you would be able to upload your certified affiliation with your qualified legal service provider. But you would do that by clicking the down arrow and selecting what you wanted to change your member class to, submit the class change request, and you'll be you won't go any further if you're changing to retired, but if you're changing to associate, you'll continue, or if you don't make any changes. So the next page is the address of record verification. And this is extremely important that you make sure that your address of record and your email address of record are up to date. And we also want you to remember that your address of record is public. So if someone were to contact us and is trying to contact you, your address of record is public. You may utilize a post office box as your address of record. And if you do so, you still need to provide us with an physical address that we would not disclose, but we would have to have a physical address. So that's just something to think about. You need to make sure your address of record and your email address of record are up to date. Back in 2020, paragraph 3 was revised to require members to maintain a current email address. So once you're on this page, you take a look, is my address correct or is it not? If it's not, there's that pencil icon. You click that and it will allow you to make whatever changes you need to make to your address or your email address. Again, Virginia Corporate Council and Corporate Council registrant members cannot change their email address, or their email address. They need to contact the membership department directly, and that's per the rule. The next step is your professional liability insurance certification. This page is the same. These are the exact same questions that were on the paper form that you were used to receiving the long paper form. These are the exact same questions. You'll answer the questions. If you have judgments and you select yes, then a box will appear that will allow you to enter the information there. But you just go through this form and answer all of the questions, just as you would when we had the paper form. The next step is your IOLTA certification, and IOLTA is administered by LSCB, the Legal Services Corporation of Virginia. If you have any questions regarding how you should answer these questions, I would direct you to LSCB, and you can reach them at 804-782-9438. One thing that I would like for you to know, that if you do have an IOLTA account, you will need to enter the name of your bank. So make sure you have that, or know if you're with a firm that you know what bank your firm's IOLTA account is in, because you will need to enter that information here. And the next step is your voluntary pro bono reporting, and this is for associate and active members. And again, this is just like the form that you used to get in the mail. The questions are the same. And this is voluntary. If you have completed pro bono hours and you would like to report them, you may do so here, or you can elect to decline to report. If you've made financial contributions, you may indicate that here or decline to report. And then there's some other questions that they're just trying to get some demographic information and would like for you to answer. Once you've completed these certifications, this box is required. You click the box and you say you're confirming that your address is correct and that you've completed the form to your desired extent. So this is a full stop. You have to check this box in order to proceed. Once you've done that, you'll click next. And that will take you to the sections election page. And this is where you are able to join voluntary sections. You see at the top of the page, it says VLRS panel members get 2 free sections. If you are a VLRS panel member, do not complete this portion on the form. You will receive a separate email from the VLRS that gives you directions on how to log in and get your free sections. So all VLRS panel members receive 2 free sections. And if you're interested in becoming a VLRS panel member, please reach out. The VLRS is always looking for more panelists, and they provide pre-screened referrals to their members. So it's a great opportunity, and it's great for the public. You can contact VLRS at 804-775-0808. Now, if you are currently in a section, right beneath the VLRS panel members get 2 free sections, you will see 2025 sections, and it will list the sections that you're currently a member of. So you'll know what sections you're currently in. And then right beneath that is the 2026 fiscal year sections. And if you want to join one, you click the box and join one of those sections. And we're really excited this year. We have 3 new sections available. And those are the diversity section, senior lawyer section, and the young lawyer section. And I'm going to throw this to Megan and let her tell you a little bit about what we're excited about with the new sections.
Absolutely, and I just want to provide a little bit of clarity. So on April 16th, 2025, the Supreme Court of Virginia ordered that the 4 conferences of the Virginia State Bar be converted to sections, with that transition required by June 30th, 2025. So as DaVida mentioned, we have these 3 sections available for folks to add to their dues this year. So for members, what does that mean? So when you enroll in a section for the 2025 to 2026 bar year, that will initiate a 2-year membership. So when you go on to pay your dues in 2026 to 2027, these section selections will automatically carry over for these 3 sections. If you opt not to enroll for the 25-26 bar year, you will have the option to add sections annually, beginning in 2026, beginning during the 2026 dues renewal period, and those rates are set by each section's board. So DaVida, thank you for bringing attention to it, and we just wanted to provide a little bit of clarity just because it looks a little bit different. If you have any questions about your section enrollment, DaVida has already mentioned a bunch of very useful phone numbers and emails, and we'll also include that in the follow-up email that we send to all of today's attendees.
Thank you, Megan. So once you've selected your sections, you see in the bottom right-hand corner, there's the next button. Pressing next will take you to this screen, and it says, thank you for fulfilling your annual membership certifications. Please click next to process your payment and complete your renewal. If you are a member of a group billing roster, this is it for you. You will see a notation that says you are a member of group billing and this organization will be paying your invoice, and you're done. If you are self-pay, you will click the next button. And here we are now in the payment process. And it shows the invoices here for renewal fees, and subscription fees are your section fees. So you just need to make sure you check each box, put a check beside each of the invoices that you're going to pay, and you would click add to cart. That takes you to your shopping cart. So here you're able to see the things that you're paying, and it shows your grand total for your transaction. Payment methods. The VSB accepts MasterCard and Visa. Last year we opened it up and we started taking American Express, and we also have an opportunity for you to pay by ACH transfer. And just so you know, we do not pass any of the merchant fees along to our members. There are no additional fees charged for you using any of these payment forms. So you would enter either your Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or ACH information onto this page, and then click Submit Order. And there it is. You have completed your dues renewal and you are all set. Are there any questions there, Megan?
I am not seeing any questions. We'll give it just another 30 seconds or so. If anyone on the call would like to pose a specific question, please use the question function. We are happy to field those. Let me just say, DaVida, this has been extremely helpful. As someone who has only been at the bar for about 6 months, getting to see kind of the play-by-play of renewing dues is really, really helpful for me. So that when we get questions from members, I'm happy to either direct them to your department or answer any questions that I do have available. But I am not seeing any questions come through.
I do have a couple of things I did want to pass along. I just thought about this. Some tips. Government P cards. A lot of people who work for DOD or other agencies try to use their P cards, and for some reason they don't work. So you may have a problem trying to use a government P card. That is one issue that we noticed, and we're not sure if it's a block on that side or on the side of the website, but people using those purchase cards do experience some difficulty. So I'll let you know that in advance. The IT department has told us that they recommend that you do not try to attempt this process on a mobile phone, on a mobile device. It is recommended that you use a laptop or a desktop to complete this process. It just makes it a little smoother. And another thing that we've noticed is that we have some members who are in other countries or on military bases, and sometimes it looks like there's a firewall. So that may be something that you need to check. If you're trying to connect and you're having some difficulty, it may be a firewall. We have one member who is in China, and every year he experiences some significant difficulties trying to access the website. And if something like that were to happen, just understand we're going to do everything we can to assist you, even if it means taking your payment over the telephone or whatever it is that we need to do. We want to make sure that our members are taken care of.
Super helpful information. Thank you. And a huge shout out to your team, DaVida. I know they've been working very, very hard getting everything prepared, and also a shout out to the VSB's IT department. I know they've been doing a lot of the technical things behind the scenes. If there's anything else, we are happy to share contact information in the follow-up email. As I mentioned, DaVida has shared a lot of important resources, phone numbers, and email addresses. So I will collect those from her and send that to everybody after the fact, so that you have a very easy guide to where you should direct your questions should you run into any issues. We're also planning to share the recording of today's session. So if you want to review it one last time before you go through the renewal process after June 16th, but before July 31st, Eastern Standard Time, you'll have access to this recording, and we hope to provide that to everybody in the VSB news that's going out, I believe, on June 2nd. So you all will have that in your inbox starting next week. So thank you again, DaVida, for putting together today's presentation. We really, really appreciate your time. A quick shout out to the next Lunch and Learn. That is happening on Thursday, June 26th at noon. And the title is Recruiting and Retaining Rural Lawyers, Challenges and Incentives. And we hope to offer 1 hour of MCLE credit anticipated. For updates on upcoming Lunch and Learn programs, please keep an eye out for that VSB news that I mentioned that will be coming to your inbox at the beginning of June. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.